The Dallas Cowboys without a practice today as they wrap up their first week at training camp in California. So how are things looking so far? I am joined by our friend, Locked On Cowboys podcast host Landon McCool, who is in Oxnard for Cowboys camp. Good morning, Landon. Happy Friday to you.
Good morning to you. How's it going?
It's going well. Better now that you're here. Let's get right into this. Can you tell us what you are enjoying? How is training camp going for you, the sights and sounds?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly enjoying the weather. It's nice and cool out here. I hate to do that after seeing that you guys are dealing with 100-degree weather today. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's why they're out here. That's why the Cowboys like to come out here. They like to get out on the grass. They like to get out with some nice weather, and they can work hard. And I think we've seen that so far. They haven't had any padded practices yet. It's all been just basically with helmets, so it's kind of walk through situations. There have been some competitive periods, but nothing with any tackling yet. It's really just been setting the base up as they start to build for training camp.
You're wrong for bringing up the weather. You didn't have to do me like that. That's
Sorry.
Okay. Jerry Jones, kicked off camp this week with his state of the team presser. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you're hearing from him and team management at this point.
I mean, I think after discussing it with some other reporters that were there and some folks that I know that listen to it as well, it just feels like Jerry has started to take some of the alternative, let's call it alternative roster building methods to heart a little bit, and specifically I would point to the Rams. Right, the Rams have for consistently for the last few years done what they can to go all in this season. And I think, I mean, I hate to be morbid, but Jerry's getting older, right? And I think he sees that, he doesn't have all the time in the world. And I feel like he's maybe adjusted his stance on, instead of trying to be good forever and not, sell the future in order to be good right now. I think maybe he's changed his mind a little bit. And he talked about it, that he was willing to sell the future for right now. And that's not necessarily the kind of talk we've heard from the Joneses previous to this. And the kind of last thing I would point out is, it was pretty odd that we heard almost exclusively from Jerry and Brian Schottenheimer. We didn't hear very much from Stephen Jones, which I don't know if that means that Jerry's just like, hey, I'm putting my foot down. It's time for us to go all in, Stephen. Stop being a governor for me. I'm ready to go.
All right, a bit of a shift there. Okay, so I want to ask about this too. A big change this season, obviously, the defense with new coordinator Christian Parker. What are you seeing from him, and how is he's remaking what was a dismal defense last season?
Yeah, I mean, again, no pads, so we can't see tackling yet, but what we can see is kind of the structure of what this defense is going to look like. We're coming from a system in which especially the down linemen are being told to try to get upfield quickly, get into the backfield, and they'll deal with the run on their way to the pass, as they say. And in this new system, it's more like they get into the gap and they try to push their blockers into kind of building up a wall that the running backs can't get through. And hopefully the idea is that they can play a little bit more stout while playing with smaller personnel, because that's kind of the new meta of the NFL, is try to play nickel defense, but make it look like base because of the way you play your personnel. And so we've seen them kind of lay the groundwork for that. It's still a little disjointed. I would definitely say that the offense is ahead of the defense right now, which is a little unusual early in training camp. But two things. One, obviously, this is a new defense, as we just discussed. And two, the Cowboys have an unusual amount of continuity coming back from the previous season on their offense. So that's a unit that doesn't need a lot of time to get up and get ready to go.
Well, one more question real quick before we let you go. Obviously, we have to talk about QB1, Dak, making headlines today for his nickname for the offense, Gotti. What is that about, and what are you seeing on that side of the ball?
Yeah, greatest offense there is. And I mean, I think it's a level of confidence that Dak has in this group. And again, it points to the players that are on this roster. You brought Pickens back without too much hassle this offseason, which was great. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb and Williams got re-signed. Like I said, the continuity that they're bringing back from last year, which was one of the greatest offenses of last season, I think it gives them the confidence that if they can have some development on their young offensive line, they're going to be a really difficult offense to stop this year, just like they were last year.
All right, Landon McCool, thank you for being with us on a Friday. Keep enjoying that California weather, I guess. You're not missing anything. You know what you're missing here, so
I won't mention it next time I'm on. How about that?
We appreciate that. You have a good weekend. You can catch Landon and his podcast partner, Marcus, with new episodes of Locked On Cowboys daily, wherever you get your podcasts.